This is codes of harmony. This is a fire. This is an ancient, sacred fire before me. Okay, so I've had some very significant things taking place that have called for ceremony and called for sacred fire, ancient sacred fire, as I just said. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. I'm still, you know, coming a little bit closer to the 3D from the sacred space. And yeah, so this will be a channeled message via codes of harmony. You can call me Harmony for short if you like. I'm a bringer of codes of many forms, and I am here to give you a channeled message around okay, human words, come on now. Around the sacredness of answering the call, your calling, your specific calling and purpose. And that calling, whether you choose to receive and accept and return and answer that call or not, that is not of your choosing. I mean, you get to choose if you respond to it and how you respond to it, but it's not actually up to us who gets what callings. Okay, so before I go any further, thank you everybody who positively contributes to this channel, whether that is by listening to these channeled messages and just integrating that into what you're doing and who you are and how you're moving through ascension, through these wild times of collective ascension, or like, sharing and subscribing, of course, because that helps that algorithm to get these messages out to more people. I'm just going to very quickly click on anything to engage with the channel, and it's good for your karma, it's good for the channel, and so we can all bounce out these messages for more members of the collective so we can rise together. I'm just going to first of all give thanks for this fire and all of the sacredness, all of the knowledge, all of the DNA activation, the ancient ancestral knowledge that it has spoken to me of and about in the last 2 nights. I'm going to give thanks to the fairies, the good fairies, the good fae, not the mischievous ones. To my ancestors and the spirits of this land, as well as the ancestors of the land on which I stand. Thanks to the sun, giving thanks to the sun, or the solar energy, the solar power that is within me as a Leo sun. Giving thanks for everything that has taken place before, during, and since Lionsgate, the 8/8 portal of 2024. 888. Okay, so yeah, channeled message, not specific, so just take what you want to, take what resonates with you. And I will just start by saying, if you are triggered by anything in this video, I would suggest, it's a humble suggestion, that you ask yourself, just ask Spirit, ask your guides, whoever guides you, whoever walks with you, whoever you believe in, worship, even if it's just your higher self, the oversoul. Just ask, am I being triggered for my benefit? Am I being triggered for my healing? Whatever feels good for you. And if you feel like, and if the answer and the response is yes, then move through that trigger, hold that space, and continue with an open-hearted, open-minded, non-judgmental way through this video. Yeah. Oh, one more. Oh, the witch's itchy nose just comes right on in as I say that. For those of you who know. Oh, if you're a channel, if you don't know what channeling is, press pause, go research channeling, and come on back. Okay, let me see if I've still got some water. So beautiful. Sacred fire, which is interesting because I've been working with water so much, right? Okay. Okay. Back to the sacred fire, the ancient sacred fire. Yeah, calling in protection over this. Divine. This channel space. Okay. So, maybe we want some sunlight. How about this? Yeah. Okay, so just opening up the channel. Some of you who are watching this message may have a particular connection or resonance with fire. You may be working with the element of fire at the moment. You may be going through a death and rebirth, or be connecting in with the energy and frequency of the rising phoenix. The phoenix, of course, who famously rises from the ashes and rebirths into something with feathers even more beautiful and bright and unique and colorful. This is the frequency of what's happening for the ones, as I'm hearing it, as I'm channeling, who have not only done the work, but done so with a devout love, love and respect for Source. Okay, so Source, some can call this God, some people can call this the universe, divine, as well as, of course, all the many different deities and gods and religious spiritual figures that can become part of the channel of or from Source that you receive through. Yeah. So the ones who have done the work with an open-hearted love of Source and gratefulness for the work, no matter how hard it felt, no matter how painful it felt at any one particular point in your journey so far, you are of this frequency. You are of this phoenix frequency. Okay. And you are being invited to, encouraged to really own that and really flock your feathers, really like embrace the new patterns that are within you and find gratitude and thanks for all the ways that you have come from the ashes. You have rose up from the element of fire. This can mean different things for different people. This can be, of course, connecting into your chart, your zodiac chart in this incarnation, and the elements of fire that sit within it. You know, you may be a fire sign or have multiple placements of fire within your chart. You may be working with or trying to hone in on crafts, tend to and nurture the elements of fire within you, whether that is within you on a zodiac level or God, I'm hearing so many things. Please give me clear divine guidance to be most beneficial for everyone involved. So it's something about the way that fire it changes and transmutes things via something similar to the 7 stages of grieving. The spirits and ancestors have also been talking to me about grieving as I've been in what my people call sorry business lately, which means in grieving, in this sacred time of grief and mourning. And they've been talking to me about there being some kind of similarity and connection between the 7 stages of grieving and what they're calling the 7 stages of ascension. I never do this, I never ask for this, but if any of you have like any thing to comment on specifically around that, if you've heard this term before, if this is something that is in a particular culture, religion, or spiritual practice that my earthly form is not aware of, let me know in the comments. Yeah, I'm so thankful for my ancestors. I'm so grateful. I'm so blissfully thankful for my ancestors and for the codes that are unlocking within me, that they are helping me to unlock. And here's we come. Here's we come. Here's we come. Yes, hello, my Celtic ancestors. I acknowledge you too. All of my ancestry, all my lineage, all of it that comes together to make me with my specific codes that are specific to my DNA and my calling. This is relevant for whoever you are, whoever is listening to this message right now. There will be people, and there are people, and there have been people throughout your life that have been painfully jealous of your calling and of your DNA itself. Wow, the sun is just coming through the Phoenix energy right now. It is lit. Oh, wow. Okay, let me see how steady I can hold it in this earthly form. You have had people who have been jealous of all of the gifts that you hold. But what these people do not understand and fail to understand or refuse to accept, acknowledge, or integrate is all that comes with those codes, all that comes with that DNA, all that comes with those blessings. So if you or somebody who you have, I'm hearing, survived in the past, have found yourself, or they have been inflicted by the curse of jealousy, of envy, I'm hoping this video can help you understand it as I am unlocking part of this, unraveling part of this teaching and understanding and learning more, is about the sheer refusal of considering everything that comes with the blessings that each soul has, the calling that each person has, each being of light here in this earthly plane. So if you have ever had somebody who is jealous of your specific gifts, they refused to acknowledge and understand all of the challenges, the complexities, the pain, the duality, and duality has been coming up in the channeling so much lately. By the way, this is Codes of Harmony, just a reminder. Yeah, so all my videos are copyright to me, or copyleft, as a friend said recently to me. Yeah, because this is my frequency. These are my words that have come through so many years of having to integrate, accept, and learn to love my gifts. Because the duality that first came through, and has for the majority of my life, and I know a lot of you too, has actually been the burdens of those gifts, has actually been the social, energetic, spiritual burdens of, for example, speaking to spirits. For example, having the gift, the divine gift that I'm incredibly grateful for, and have come much closer to having a greater gratitude for. You know, of seeing the other side, seeing the other realm, of being able to sense, hear, and know death. This has also come along with severe chronic pain for many years, absolute, you know, what gets referred to as chronic illnesses, disabilities, multiple disabilities of my physical vessel, because my vessel has struggled to integrate and hold the frequency that I actually hold, that my soul, my spirit, my being holds, which is why I have been asked for this calling, my specific calling, where I'm standing now over this sacred fire, listening to this river that I swam in when I was a little girl, when I was a tiny human being who could hear spirits, see spirits, who could see and hear the thoughts of people, and I didn't understand what that was, who could know what adults were trying to hide from me, who has had to deal with a very disturbing amount of misplaced jealousy and envy thrown towards me, without those people having any compassion, empathy, or understanding for the burdens that have come with the gifts that I have. Not just the gifts that I have and hold as a light worker, as a healer, as an oracle, as a medicine woman, of my birthright, that is my birthright, but had people actually try and become that, actually try and what's going around, a word, a saying that, as you can hear, ruffles my feathers somewhat, is the idea of destiny swapping. And I've said in a few different videos here in this channeled space on Codes of Harmony that destiny swapping is not a real thing. It's not possible. You cannot do that. But the reality of people trying to do that is devastating and dark, very dark, and very misplaced. Because then those people who try and steal and swap and take your destiny, your calling, because they go, oh, that looks cool. That's a cool gift to have. Oh, that looks like fun. Oh, that people think this about that person. So instead of loving themselves, accepting their true calling, their true gift, their true ancestry, and being proud and owning that, obviously in a healthy, non-bigoted way. Yeah. Disclaimer that I feel like if you're watching this video on my humble, sweet little blooming channel here, then I shouldn't have to say that disclaimer, but I will. You know, I'm talking about it's a lack of love in themselves that has them doing that to you. It is a lack of love for their own codes and acceptance of their own gifts. And so I'm choosing to call in a lot of compassion for those who cannot, have not, and will not show me compassion, and who have pushed and forced very, very misplaced jealousy onto me. Deeply, deeply misplaced envy. that I've never understood, I've never been able to cope with. I've never properly, I mean, I can cope with it. I can cope with anything, like, because I'm fucking ancient, because my soul is ancient. And I've been preparing for lifetimes to be who I am now and who I will further become. So, if you've caught this video, if you are here in this phoenix energy, a lot of the ashes that you have had to pull yourself from, fly out of, rise out of, rebirth from, have been the ashes of fire thrown your way from people who do not love themselves, who truly struggle to love the codes within them, the unique them that they are. And that is like a pit hole, a pitfall, a sinking fucking sand for the soul, for the spirit, that also attracts so many entities, is like a playground for entities, because the darkness, the dark energies, the dark entities, the dark forces. I mean, I don't usually use that term. That's kind of interesting that's coming through in this channeled space here on Codes of Harmony. God, that looks so much like a... can you see that? Okay. Wow. Yeah, so a lot of you will be seeing animals, specifically animal spirits, in clouds, artworks, on people's t-shirts. Sorry, I had a whole bunch of messages just come in. Like, yeah, so let's try and hold the compassion that these people, these beings, cannot hold for themselves, and refuse to hold for their own lineage, for their own sacred fire that is within them. And know that when you come through the Phoenix energy, you are even more protected, you are even more guided, you are even more in tune and more in alignment with who you came here to be. Yeah. I was going to say happy birthday to all of the lions out there, all the Leos, who hold that solar energy, that the heat that is essential to hold sacred knowledge, to hold sacred ancestral knowledge, wisdom. There must be heat, that all the elements are important, all of them. But the timeline that we're moving through as a collective at this point in time, this channeled message, even though all of my videos are timeless, it is it's important that we keep the heat, is what they're saying. Is what I'm hearing. Yeah, so it's almost like not allowing the hard shadow work that you have done of late, the painful sorry business, the painful losses, the painful grieving, even if it's actually losing parts of yourself, an old version of yourself, a idea, a construct that you were bound by and you didn't realize. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of, like I'm now seeing, they're showing me like a landscape with ice covering all over it. And kind of the inner thermometer of the earth, of Gaia, is asking and requiring and requesting that we make sure we keep heat, keep the warmth within all of the dark shadow work that you've been doing, including fighting, standing up to, moving past it, and eventually ignoring, rising high above those that have casted envy onto you. I repeat, we do not get to choose our calling. We do not get to choose who we are. That is up to Source. That is up to Divine. That is not up to us. And it is definitely not something to be jealous of, because trust, you do not understand or have any actual idea. They're now showing me the iceberg and the Titanic story, the real story. That's not important. Stay focused. Please send me clear divine guidance, the most beneficial for everyone involved. Yeah, they're showing me the iceberg. That's the metaphoric symbol of the iceberg in Titanic, is like they only saw the peak of it. They only saw the top of it. And so they assumed the scope of it. They assumed the size of it, not understanding that what was below the surface, what was below the water, was much, much bigger and had a much greater impact with that timeline, that story of what was to happen on the Titanic, to the Titanic, and all the souls there. Also, please, anybody who has been getting dreams of or visits from any loved ones on the other side, like, you really need to be honoring that this time, because the veil is very thin. Also, respect anyone with Scorpio placements at this time, because they're growing through it. That's interesting. Yeah, growing through it and going through it, and helping to balance, be a connection between the water, the emotions, the emotional depth that we have all moved through individually and collectively. There's a scorpionic balancer heralding, like a bridge between that emotional water world, that water work we've been doing, and this fire element of making sure we keep the momentum going of the collective evolving and ascending. That includes letting go of those who refuse to ascend, who refuse to grow, who refuse to embrace the new world, because that would require them to love themselves and embrace themselves and the new them, which is really the original coding that they were always meant to be listening to. Wow. This golden light again. This golden light of the afternoon. This golden light of the sacred fire. Yeah. And I'm hearing, for some of you, it's important for you to look into what different colors mean in candles when you're working with candles. Don't forget your spirit plates for the ancestors, very important. Wear a lot of protection. Color therapy will be very helpful for some of you at this time, particularly working with warm colors of orange, red, pink, amber, gold, mandarin I just heard as well, and lemon. So also working with these scents, with citrus scents at this time, will be beneficial, and help you keep the momentum going, because I'm not just asking, the message that I'm being asked to deliver, to give you, this channel collective message here on Codes of Harmony, is not just about keeping the collective fire going, keeping the collective heat, the collective warmth, in order for the momentum to continue, the momentum of ascension to continue, but it's for your ascension to continue, for your abundance to continue growing, for your timeline to continue expanding. So beautiful. And if you've been thinking about or considering having a fire ceremony, obviously do it safely, please, y'all. And if you've been considering that and you happen to catch this video, that's probably a fair suggestion that that you should, yeah. And okay, is that all, Spirit? Is that all? Yeah, it's just really important that, you know, the other thing is, if you're actually one of the people that has been inflicted by jealousy, by envy yourself, it's also, you know, thank you for being here also. And and listen to this message. You do not get to choose. You do not get to choose what your calling is. You just get to choose whether or not you answer the call. Okay? And I'll finish it off with a little butterfly wind chime for you. Your calling is beautiful. Whoever you are, whatever sacred knowledge you hold within, do not be ashamed of it. Do not hold too tightly to it, like the Four of Pentacles. And do not envy anybody else's, because no matter how easy they make it look, no matter how much abundance comes with it, no matter how much applaud they get, how much attention they get, none of that. You have no idea of the burdens that it comes with. You know, think about famous people, for example. Think about yeah, just find the love and the appreciation for your calling, because that's where your coding lies. That's where your home is. This is the magic music tree, by the way. Okay. Limitless, eternal, grateful love from Codes of Harmony.